The white voidness. This is why you don't travel to a strange city on a whim. Is that building on fire? There may be bigger problems than a building on fire. Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Gary's Mod. And today, the map we're going to be exploring is complexura, or complexura. Either way, this is certainly a complex megastructure of a city. I thought something looked weird about this building. It was like thin and vertical. But there's also not a single other soul here, among other strangeness. So I guess if we're gonna get out of here, we're gonna have to climb up and out. This is crazy. At a glance, it just looks like a normal city. It's got streetlights, it's got buildings, but when you look at them closer, the buildings don't look like buildings. The streetlights are too close together. Stoplights where they don't belong. And there's not a soul in sight. And the signs are in a foreign language, sort of, to an extent, until they're not. Now, the workshop page says that this is essentially just a hodgepodge of ideas thrown together, which sounds like the way that I often describe liminal spaces, but the thing is, even though there's a lot of images that are associated with that style, you can do it with anything. And so it's always really refreshing to see somebody just kind of let their mind wander and see what they come up with in Hammer. I wonder if this is some kind of elevator, but can't do anything until we see what the white voidness is all about. It's something of an incomplete voidness because there are objects within here. I thought I was seeing a plank or something leaning on top of something. No. We've got to follow that contrast. Is that a button or something up there? Ah, you have no sense of scale or space in this. That may even be a door or something. Okay, we'll go with the door or the hallway on the right, because that looks like something we may want to wait a bit on. I love it when a map gives us a clear goal. Move upwards. We'll explore on the way and see what the city is about and what makes it tick and how it came to be, maybe. Look at this. This is a memorial to a cancelled map, GMOD. It was supposed to be near one-to-one replica of the school I was attending. However, when I asked the principal for permission, he denied it because of the dangers of school shooters planning out a future act on the map. In the end, I was disappointed. I had to throw it away, but hey, at least this is here. I removed the project file and the BSP, and only kept the window models and the textures I made for the map. If you're considering recreating your school, don't do it. You get into some serious legal trouble. Enjoy the crappy 3D model I made. Okay, so the key to something like this is to just not say anything and not have it be called that on the workshop. That's how you do that. But look at this. It's like we're a ghost in the wall watching inside that school. Oh, that is so weird, but I guess it's a neat little memorial. You know, I'm sort of glad I used the analogy before of visiting a foreign city. That feeling of having absolutely no idea how things work around here or what I should be doing and what dangers I'm not aware of. Because there is a danger and an excitement in just exploring on a whim, but this map was made on a whim. It's another thing entirely to have those hallways drawn just as indiscriminately. Yep. Oh, hey, guys! We found the info player start cult. What secret MacGuffin are you worshipping? Do not press. I have a rare neurological disorder where, when I'm presented with a group of 3 words, I can only read one word. I choose press. Oh. The cake might be a lie, but... Oh, look. Need I press again? But the hot dog is not. Yes, hot dog! Yay! Oh, no. Come on, game, no. No. You can't do this to me. No! Alright. Jump. Yep. Jump. Can't keep this hot dog away from me! I got a hot dog. I got the thing. Does that make me a hero or a villain in your eyes? Oh god, I was stuck to the floor for a second. I didn't think I gained that much weight that quickly. Well, I'd say this little side adventure was worth it. It's so cool. This thing has such a dystopian feeling to it. A megastructure devoid of life. And yet, it's got a sense of humor as well. There's going to be a lot to work off of here. Ah, hey, we've made it out of the white voidness. And I got a free hot dog. It's kind of like going through the gift shop at the end of a Disney ride. Alright, well, I can probably put this away for now. I should probably see what's going on the streets. You know, have an idea of major landmarks that I need to hit. It seems we could climb those structures like a ladder. So, like, is that the end of a URL? I must say I'm curious. It's making sounds, too. Look at that. The ceilings go all the way up, even in a small room. You'd probably never know, but for the echo. It's just going to keep going until it loops all the way around. We gain a few more degrees of turn with each door we open. And not much change, but it does seem, based on the lights, that yes, the ceiling is getting lower, which is why I haven't turned around to investigate if it really is looping me. And in the end, we just put ourselves deeper into the box. Ooh, that makes it even trippier when you turn around and run out all at once. The doors are closed. Oh. Okay. Electric eye. I like it. This place has got amenities. Look. It's a two-way mirror, and from the opposite side, it's all smashed. As if the creator destroyed this place in frustration at having to abandon it partway through. Also, when you're denied permission to do something like this, you don't completely delete all the files. You shelve them until later so that nobody will connect it to the old project. Join me for more unethical life pro tips. One thing that's going to make this somewhat complicated is the fact that all these doors are closing behind us. I guess we'll just have to keep a working memory of where we have and haven't been. Although, this place is so unique in its architecture, I certainly do think that we'll have no trouble keeping it in mind. Never in 54, insecticide neutralizat? Huh. Well, it's not in English, but... Do you guys have some kind of bug incursion problem? I mean, I don't have any of my Helldiver gear on me right now. And I don't see any Seaf guys around to help out. There's a little panel up there on that ledge. It's another thing entirely to have those hallway... Stick with what we know and investigate what we don't. Can we open these shutter doors? Not this one, but it does acknowledge the attempt, which means we're gonna have to make some more attempts. It's so cool because it comes off as a city, but it also comes off as a challenge. Imagine playing something like White Knuckle on a map like this. I mean, I look around and all I see is fun distractions and opportunities to work towards a goal. That goal being the colored glow of the sky that we can see up there, assuming it really is a sky. This thing could always do the thing and pull the rug out from under us. Have it turn out that it's just another ceiling. But we've got to hold out hope. It'll take us a while before it's confirmed one way or the other. Okay, we've got a little garage. There could even potentially be some RP potential on this map. There's another elevator. And it seems like the 3 is scratched out. It's a parking garage. Found the dance floor! And it's as cool as it is weirdly run down. This gives the impression of something that was never meant to host something like this. But in a place that's probably so full of dystopian despair, someone came upon it, knew that there were no eyes on this place in particular, and thought they could insert some joy. I'm hearing coughing. Maybe people have to scatter and hide when they think the authorities are coming. Okay. Well, I don't know how to use any of these boards, but I do know how to dance! Oh, and at some point in the night, you've always got to throw a bottle. Otherwise, it just ain't a party. Yep, maybe even 2 if it's a great party. I have way too much fun with the VR side of things sometimes. But I also get really nervous when I hear coughing when there's no one around and increasingly few places to hide. Decreasingly? Locked. Well, I think we found where they're hiding then. Okay, well, I hate to do this, but we may have to go in. Packing. Oh, hey, there's a back door. And however deep we may be, things go even deeper. Danger, you're about to pass the threshold. Oh, please don't tell me this is a secret pink-black map. I may not see anything yet, but I'm certainly concerned. A tiled space. They've got like little privacy walls reminiscent of showers. But nothing to indicate that they are. The toilets, however, are quite clearly toilets. And the privacy walls don't really reassure me in this situation. Oh, these concrete walls hide so much within them, don't they? Look at this. It's like a different take on the pool rooms. One that has much more clear utility, but placed just as haphazardly, just as randomly. It's so cool to see that there are like classic liminal inspirations here, and potentially some Easter eggs. I've had a few dreams that looked like this room. Not sure what it means, but it felt oddly nostalgic for some reason. This is so cool. By having this text around, by having these random bits of trivia and inspiration, it's like we're rooting around in somebody else's dreams in real time. And sometimes it's something abstract that their mind came up with that even they can't really explain. Out of order. Wasted opportunity. Aw. Yep, that's how you feel about any empty space in a source map. And even at times with a sense of humor, you know? So it kind of feels like you're exploring on your own, but every once in a while you run into them and they just give you a little bit of guidance. In a way, it sort of gives the creator a constant presence in this map while still feeling like you're left to your own devices to explore. We could get down there. I don't much trust this ladder, though. It could be that it's actually there and just not loading. Could also not be. I guess we can more safely find out down there. Cowabunga! Let's see. Are you real? You're real. Okay. Oh, let's make the jump. Yeah. Wow, this place looks very different from underwater because it's one continuously curving river, where from above it almost looks like separate pools or one big one. Once you're underneath, it feels so much bigger and, I guess, more closed off. Yep. I don't know why it's such a common thing to dream about specifically like bathrooms or locker rooms or pool areas that take these strange shapes and designs. But I know I've had them, the creators had them, and clearly a lot of other people have too, given the popularity of the pool rooms as a concept. I wonder if this is something that was taking off specifically because the back rooms caused people to think more consciously about things like that. And that's why I do believe that art and access to art kind of compounds itself, where creativity accelerates as more people are exposed to more ideas. I mean, I'm sure that's not a controversial thought. It actually seems pretty clear when you think about it. But still, it's worth noting things, and that's how these things come into being. I mean, I always talk about how the backrooms and the concept of liminal spaces is kind of playing off of something that a lot of people always thought about, but thought no one else would acknowledge, or they would think that they were weird for talking about it. People realize how universal it is. Look at this. It's like a cathedral window as the world falls away. One type of memory making way for another, or colliding in this spot, and they can't both exist at the same time in the same place. I'm pushed away as I try to get close. And apparently we shouldn't run at it because we'll get pushed away a lot faster. This is not a wasted opportunity. This is using it to its fullest extent. Did something come out of that hole in reality? Oh, there is so much more to this map than it seemed like at first. Of course. Should have known I'd seen you here. Why does it feel so wrong to have just one small little space in between many spaces that takes on a completely different style? It's like a brief interlude in a dream, one that goes to something else and then immediately back on track. Men's locker room, gender-neutral restroom, women's locker room. I wasn't making a beeline straight for this. I'm just taking it in, I guess, chronological order. Stall game time. And this is the last map I expected to be doing this on. Nothing. Times like this, seeing my own player model is oddly grounding. You know, I just realized we don't get to see Alan Wake holding the safety Glock all that often, though. I mean, normally these rooms are so dark I have to be carrying a flashlight. But this is a different type of eye candy. Okay, now I think we've hit a dead end. So we gotta start seeing about how we get out of here. That ladder may be the way, which would be quite a leap of faith. Oop. Unless we want to see what's around the corner. It doesn't seem like there's a ladder there, but a strange little cutout right at the water's edge. Okay, I get the feeling that we'll be seeing this place again if we drop down from where that goes. Right, I forgot there's a staircase here. Okay, I panicked for just a brief moment, but I think we're okay now. Oh, right, the club! Huh. It's like one of those dreams where you can't remember how you got here by the end of it. I'd completely forgotten that all of this started here. Oh, this is overwhelming. We haven't even left the first floor yet. First floor of many. Ooh, look at that. That wall certainly looks like it potentially moves. No! No, 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 no! Philip Jeffries cannot be here! You even come with your own sinister yet jazzy music. Actually, this is very Twin Peaksy. This is cool. I don't know if I'll be able to play that music, but I'm certainly enjoying it. Look at this. It's like a smattering of Hammer falling apart in this room in particular. Philip Jeffries, is this a temporary truce we've reached? Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. I'll just say, I appreciate you in this place where time winds backwards, but I think I should be taking my leave now. So this place isn't entirely empty. It's just, you meet the strangest people here. Seems we're passing another threshold. Oh, This is blinding. If only you could see me blinking in my headset right now. Of all the cameos I did not expect here... Hey. This is so cool. Like, the spaces are so bare and just cold and harsh in their textures. And yet there's actually a lot going on with the architecture. We can't actually see where the darkness reaches, but it kind of looks like it slides down into the abyss. It doesn't just connect with the wall. So maybe we'll avoid that for a last resort. Look at this. We're close to the sky. I suspected there might be a teleport in that bright hallway. Well, here we are. It's a whole... What is that? Lightning shooting through some anomaly that's opened up in the sky. Maybe these megacities were built for protection. Protection from the scorched hellscape that is the Earth now. And maybe these buildings just take on the shape they do in order to have some level of familiarity, but essentially it's a locked concrete enclosure. Okay, that looks like it may be a creator board. But from a bird's eye view, we can actually glimpse the absolute complexity of this. I am more excited than ever after this angle. I certainly didn't expect to observe the bottom first and then the top immediately after, but hey, we're sandwiching this map. Yeah, look, it's all shipping containers, crane equipment. They can lower things up and down. And there's our potential exit. I can actually see other things like balls of light rising up in some places and falling down in others. Maybe that anomaly isn't even the cause for the need for this structure. Maybe it's just something that powers it, something that we harness. Because it seems to be acting like a lightning rod. We can see that the world beyond does look dark and barren. But from down below, it almost doesn't seem like this needs to be on Earth at all. It's only from here that we can see that there's anything outside of this. Imagine the psychological effect of living in a place like this long term. It really would start to feel like there's nothing beyond. Okay, well, I think we need to start heading back. I don't know if there's anything more for us to do out here. If anything, our real goal is that platform that leads to the exit. But getting there may not be as straightforward as up and down. Ah, this is such a creative and cool map. I can't wait to start getting into it. And just think what could be hidden around. These units open as well. For Wadi Taivol. I don't know what that means, but presumably it's a signature or some sort of reference. Look at that, the remains of some collapsed megastructure in the distance. It all has post-apocalyptic vibes, but it doesn't need to be. There's so much of this that's open for interpretation. Either way, it's certainly very dreamlike. Have you noticed, because this has always been true with me, spaces tend to be a lot bigger in dreams. This feels like that distorted sense of space that seems perfectly normal in the moment, and yet is impossible to describe. You certainly couldn't draw it when you wake up. we didn't check this out. Are we going to start slowly moving downward from here? Please step forward every 5 minutes after a person finishes their cycle. It will be your turn once you hear the ding. We don't accept refunds in case no one is there to send you off. There was someone there! I saw just for a moment there was a shadow person! This is not a haunted map, is it? Wait, so could there have actually been something that I missed down in the nightclub? That coughing never stopped. I guess it's not stopping here either. So, okay, so not only is it a dystopian post-apocalyptic city, it's a haunted dystopian post-apocalyptic city. I could have seen you in the mirror, couldn't I? God, this map is so cool. This is proving to be so much more than I thought it would be. Hi there. Memories of the past, a place for us to indulge? What do you mean, someone to send you off? So this is like an experience where people go one at a time? Can't help but feel watched. Man, this map is doing so much more than I thought from the workshop screenshots. I could pretend to be a kaiju. That's a service I would subscribe for. I would definitely stand in line for this. We've got escape rooms, we've got laser tag, so many niche experiences. How is Kaiju Simulator not a thing? Actually, nobody heard me say that. I'm founding that business. I thought I just heard something weird. I can sort of make out buildings beyond this, but it's very dirty glass I can't see through. All this way and nowhere for anyone to hide. I love a map that has just occasional sporadic scares like this. Let's keep going. You know what this is actually reminding me a lot of? It's reminding me so much of GM Trench. That was another map that really caught me off guard. And that was a really smooth transition. That's the brilliance of hiding all that in the bright light. But with all this in mind, we certainly see that the creator is willing to scare us on our journey. It makes things exciting, but also a bit more nerve-wracking. Let's see what's on top of this platform. I'd meant to do it before. But there is another of those eyes. I hadn't noticed any, but they could be everywhere. That is so cool, because you could achieve a similar effect with, like, cameras or even just screens with someone watching us. But just a painted image of an eye. It feels so childish, it's almost more creepy. Another threshold. Well, look, let's start doing some of that climbing that we wanted to do. Let's pretend for a moment that we need to do all this in order to get up and out. Performance taking a bit of a hit when I look up like that. There's a lot in front of me. Wow, the heights are already getting to me. I don't like heights at all, and this is... Yeah, VR does this to me sometimes. So let's try and stay close to the walls. It's like I can feel the cool breeze of the wind that knocks me just slightly off balance. And we're gonna have to get a little more off balance to see this. I am not playing around. Wait, there's text over that building. Text I didn't see before because I came out of it. Alright, we'll have to go see that again. But not before we check out the rest of the scaffolding. Wow, this actually gets us really far. There's a staircase over there that's enclosed. I never thought to look inside there because I just thought it was like construction barricades. That's really awful to be like a couple 100 feet up and see the much easier path right across the way. Hey, look at that. With that huge glass wall. Wow, that's another one of those things where I didn't even acknowledge how impossibly high the ceiling was. We can look right down onto that guy's desk. You know, with all the people setting up perches up here, I can just imagine when you're bored just kind of sitting up here with a laser pointer and bugging them. They'll never be able to figure out where it's coming from. Another watcher. These things mark their posts. That made me feel awful. Wow. It was like I could feel my insides, and only my insides, being pulled downward for just a moment. Whew. Let's start thinking about how we're getting down. Oh, we're right over a window. We can get inside that interior. This map is crazy. You never know how things are going to connect. Definitely not a fake building. It looks pretty real to me. It seems to have function and fashion. And it's where we got our hot dog from, so who am I to complain? Really, in this crazy mixed-up world, who can judge something which gives us the gift of hot dogs, even if we do uncover a cult in the process? This game has a way of generating brand new sentences, doesn't it? Either way, in a world of concrete, colorful is always nice. Look at this, the concrete's been blown open. There was a fight in here. There's different types of blood on the ground as well. Maybe they really did have to fight some bugs or ghasts or piglins. I mean, I knew this map had been throwing me for a loop in many ways, but I really didn't expect to see this. There's something weirdly unsettling, like genuinely, about a streak of realistic blood leading towards a Minecraft nether portal. And also, what barbarian's not even burying the lower level into the ground? Yep. Look at this. Man, they really weren't kidding when they said they were just doing whatever came to mind in this world. I almost thought we were safe, a magma chamber deep under the netherrack. But it seems we've uncovered a nether fortress as well. Wow, these are such dark textures, even the flashlight doesn't do much for me. Oh no, I'm being pushed forward! I'm not doing this right now. It's pushing me forward. What is all this? I think I know where that leads. But there's several ways out of here. I think, you know what? I think this might act as a hub. You're surrounded by those eyes. Whatever you are, I think you're associated with the powers that be, and so is this pyramid. Kind of reminds me of Control. I bet you go back to the white voidness. I bet this over here goes to that opening in the pool rooms that we couldn't reach. And you're something of a wild card, but you also split off. Safety, danger. Safety, danger. You go with danger first so that you can wash it down with some safety. That's a doll. I thought you were a corpse up against the wall. Oddly enough, this creeps me out even more. All right. Oh, no. Well, tell you what. If we get out of this, would you like it if I bring you someplace with a hot dog? Nope, you're staying right here. Well, it was nice knowing you. Let's go out with Freebird playing. You jerk, you made me think I was about to get absolutely flattened by the only car we've seen. And indoors, no less. The only thing harder to predict is trains. Oh, good. We can get some water while we're here. Oh, they're out. Or, well, they have Dasani, but they don't have Poland Spring. It's like a giant valve wheel. I've really got to wonder what sort of tap something of this size opens. Oh, I see what you're doing, paying tribute to the ones who made all this possible, huh? The shadows cast by this thing, the one spotlight above it, in a dark, dark, giant room, it actually evokes the same feeling as the Valve intros. Wait! Oh, wait, we've been here before! This is the parking garage! Or, it's a parking garage. Hello? It's like a nightmare version of GM Construct. Nope! No, you can't trap me in there. There's so many ways to go. So many branching pathways. It's going to be so hard to take this in any kind of order. Alright, let's start with up then. Any moment that car is going to chase me down a hall, or even up some stairs. Why not? I mean, if anything can happen, the sky's the limit, right? Okay, well, it's good to have the acknowledgement that we are still in the same reality, even if that reality itself is no form of safety. You all go somewhere, don't you? A whole teleport network leading all over the map. That's what this is? Well, tell you what then, let's just keep moving. We may be disorganized, but teleports make things a lot more disorganized. right back to here. I guess we could try that button again. I can hear something opening and closing, but I don't know what it is. Oh, there you... Oh, that's why. It's an elevator. Honestly, could have predicted that. And we are on level 4. Presumably. I also saw a 5 marker on the ground floor. But from here, we can start making our way downward. And start twisting in the opposite direction, which does wonderful things for the index cable. And now we're back to trepidation again. But the safety lock stands ready. Oh, I just love seeing the reflections over it as we walk. Down to level 2. That's so interesting. We skipped level 3 entirely. Or maybe that was level 3 that we came from. Actually, you know, it makes more sense that that was level 3 that we came from. That's all this thing acts as, is a glorified staircase. It only makes sense that the valve would be at the center of it all. The no-clip run for this is going to be something else. Let's see where these things take us. Look. Our only reference is the burning building, but from this angle, it's completely unfamiliar. Any angle of this could be an art piece once you start going vertical. I mean, there's just so many satisfying lines. The architecture in this is weirdly satisfying to look at. I mean, when you look up or down, it's incredibly intimidating. Oh no, the elevator's out of order. There's a button so we could try it anyway. Is that some kind of engine? It's so weird to see an apartment looking so normal. Imagine waking up and doing your breakfast, maybe working from home, and then coming over to the window and, well, I guess that's why all these windows have to be so dirty. It would be a real strange feeling looking down and seeing some of the sights we've seen. I feel like I'll always associate the base Half-Life 2 textures with the early 2000s, and the computer models definitely help with that. I mean, I remember having a computer that looked like this, with an 80 gig hard drive, sitting in a room not unlike something like this. I don't know, I feel like we look back with fondness on the things that really annoyed us, things that were limitations as kids. Wow, apartment's got its own locker room. Can we see anything from these windows? Oh, the views you would have if only you would scrub them. Huh, this one's weird. It kind of loops in on itself in several directions. Well, this is probably a bathroom. There we go. Ooh, almost startled myself. All right. I think that's enough of here, but look at this. We have actually started to see places where people are meant to live. And it's not working. It wasn't lying. Still, I have really come to like the style of just stream of consciousness map making. Just kind of letting it go and see where it takes you. Ultimately, it's kind of like dreaming in that you'll end up with something that comes from you, and yet you yourself are surprised by it. Oh, I think we're right above... Yep, oh my god, I don't like looking down, but we are right above our hot dog. That's my sole frame of reference, by the way. That hot dog is my North Star. Huh. And from here, we can see some more of the spaces that are open. Lots of gaps in this concrete wall here. But there's also so much we must be passing over, right? Hey, we can go easily up and down from here. This map has so many branches, so many areas that aren't immediately obvious, but they tend to be fairly self-contained, and when they do loop back in on the greater map, well, it tends to be in a place that's really convenient. It's almost like unlocking fast travel as we go. It's something that seems wild and untamed at a first glance, and it sort of is, given the nature of how it was made. But once you understand it, you'd be like a superhero in a police chase here. What is going on over here? And what does it mean by a threshold? I think we're starting to see. Those bright hallways indicating a teleport, and these dark areas where things just fall away with nothing beyond. This is a world where reality is collapsing. Error, floor R652 not found. Wall 5362 not found. Ceiling 1252 not found. We're gonna have to platform over there. I dread to think what happens if we try to go in. They're here to take over the world. Cats. Yes, they're everywhere, disguising as anything they can. Unbeatable, unpoisonable. That's not a cat. They control the media. Okay, no, this is just too cute. It is too late. I wonder how much an apartment is in this city. Anyways, this is another elevator, but this one only goes further up from the look of it. Unless that's the ceiling of it that I'm looking at there. Ooh. We can hop the wall to the ceiling ventilation units. And up there is the apartment that we just came from. You end up... Oh, my God. I'm telling you, the lines and the unorthodox nature of the architecture really emphasize the depth and distance when you're looking up and down. I'm afraid to touch the stick right now. It's my stomach on the line if I screw this up. Oh, but this is where this all comes out. It's like these buildings were built as stairs. Thank you, Ladder Snap. Thank you so much. But I'm going back the way I came. Yep. Actually, when we're walking around at this level, something about the architecture kind of reminds me of a Half-Life 2 mod I played a long time ago called Viralis Obscurum. I still think about that map a lot. Ooh. No railings here. Safety measures are for squares. Look at that. I can see what that floating object is now. It's a truck just left spinning. Like one of those anomalies that is probably concerning, but it's been going for so long that you think it's probably not going to fall. And in the meantime, there's just not anything you can do about it. There was something else, though. here's the elevators. All right, let's stand off to the side and call you down. Oh, but I forgot to comment on the other thing. I was so taken by the truck. I didn't see what that is. Some kind of reflective object just hovering there. That is so weird. It's rotating, too. It's acting like a disco ball. But I also can't help but notice the teleport right above it. I was thinking that maybe that would drop us down here, but now that I see it, I think it lands us on top of that object. Like it pulled out a chunk of reflective earth with it. Everything about this is so weird. Look, there's like an angled platform with the button on it. You know, for a map made entirely out of concrete, there sure is a lot of creativity around here. But it doesn't seem like there's really anything up here. Well, except a great view of a burning building. I can't believe I didn't even touch on this little cafe right here. Nowhere near the kitchen, so some poor server has to walk from one of these directions in order to bring their food. But lap of luxury being high up and with some kind of barrier. Even this looks like it's fallen away over time, though, like this place is starting to crumble. Okay, let's try and do this platforming. I'm assuming that's another elevator. We had to go for it at some point. Yeah. Oh my god. Not easy to be precise with the index stick. Yep. Where does one go from here? Yep! I guess we're okay. Something caught us. It actually felt like we did fall for a second. Maybe that's the void pushing us out some more. Hello? We've been here. We're back at the pool rooms. Okay, there was a teleport in there. A shenanigan has occurred. Alright, well, a place that's familiar is easier to navigate than one that isn't. All I know is that this map has spooked me several times, triggered my curiosity a billion times, and made my stomach drop somewhere in between those things. It is weirdly grounding to see the chair there. Get it? Grounding? No, I actually am serious, though, because when we're up there, it almost feels like we're in a different world. It's almost like we're in that fake hallway, looking through that two-way mirror at some place we can't actually access. So to see something we did up there make a difference down here, I don't know. For some reason, it feels good. We still have no idea what that opening up there is about, but I can't believe we've gone so long without trying to step through whatever this is. It's like a kaleidoscope of madness. And it simply pushes us back out the other way. Whew. So maybe we can only enter from the other side. I have a suspicion of where it enters from. But we'll just have to go to where that is and satisfy our curiosity. And take another bite of this hot dog. Tell you what, let's try using an elevator this time. Whew. Let's find out once and for all where these things lead with relation to everything else. These are actually something different. In fact, these are quite open to use by players. Some of them open on both sides, some of them only on one, but they do present a unique opportunity in that we can actually see out of these windows. I think we've seen most of everything by this stage, but there are still a few things I'm interested in seeing. Unfortunately, these run parallel to a lot of places we've been, but don't actually directly access them. Now, this all seems reserved for player creation. Well, at least this thing moves fast. Look at that. I've just seen another teleport back there. These things are probably hidden all throughout the map. So maybe they don't just take us to anywhere, places we've already been. Maybe that Hall of Doors is a Hall of Secrets. Alright, we're back here. Let's test theory number 1. That this brings us to the White Voidness. No, in fact, it does not. It takes us to some place we haven't seen before at all. A slum, an alleyway for those who have been cast out of society. It's like it exists in the periphery. Actually, maybe even within these concrete walls themselves. I hadn't considered that there could be something outside. So here's the thing. When people make a face out of these mouths and these eyes using the paint tool, I've always seen it as looking like the character Wally Kazam. And so this is like a biblically accurate Wally Kazam. Don't know if I'm alone in that. I just heard birds and the jingle. We are the Watchers. Is going through that wise? And before we try, I'm thinking we should probably try some jumping. There may be more to this map than I even expected. We could hop up and over as a means of getting out of here. But we've got places to be. Come on. So, given the ramshackle nature of the Watchers' perches, could it be that the Watchers, it seems like they're not actually the powers that be. They're the exact opposite. They're the ones who live on the edges. And it seems like they have more power than we think. Look at that wind power in here. Alright, my ankles depend on making it to that teleport. Nope! I managed to teleport and get hurt, and it brings us to these stands. This is actually the one that I couldn't get down before. Ow. You know, I'm gonna have to consume some health real soon because I'm in a rough shape. I've fallen a lot. Thank you. I don't know why picking up and letting go of one enables me to pick up the bunch, but it's useful. Assuming these teleports aren't random, which, given the frequency of them, I have no reason to believe they are, the next thing to test will be this pipe. Oh, and we're being pushed through, and... Huh. Well, it seems my theory was correct. Join me once again next week for ankle-breaking science. This one's free. This one's free because I didn't actually break my ankles because of the water. Hello? Kitty? Is there a kitty around? Also, this is the ground level of all those other places, so we can use this as a shortcut as well. This one takes a bit of a while. What happens if we try to use 3? It just works. Wow, look at that. It's even got an open exterior in order for us to see the scale of what this elevator shaft is like. It's like this map always takes the opportunity to do the cool thing, you know? And that's what's so awesome about having the freedom to do what you want with a map. So, about these teleports. Let's start seeing where they lead, one by one. What else can we do, right? This one takes me to here. Okay, so some of these have an easy way back, but not all of them. Good to know. What about your neighbor? Right here. Let's start taking them randomly then. You? Because it does seem like these are just effectively fast travel. I could not have chosen better to pick one at random. Well, here we claim our throne as king of the world, the one with the freedom to exit. And the choice not to. Look, there is actually still a whole pair of levels that we have not seen. Okay. Actually, I think those windows up there may even be that bus stop feeling area. The one where we encountered our shadowy friend. To hear and feel the wind is a reward all its own in a world like this. To be able to see sights beyond the concrete. Out of everything, this feels like such a win. But where does this go? To this place which we apparently had not been to. I had sworn I had gone down that threshold, but I guess I haven't. Just for the sake of curiosity, if we were to come through here, access this teleport, and jump over the fence, what would that get us? Yep. Ooh. Right up to here. Okay. Since I have no idea how to access some of these things, pretty soon the time might come to make the most of our ankles of steel. Let's just see where we can get on our own. So right now we're up on level 5, but I'm seeing a lot of bridges, fires, and a more clear view of that crystal thing, which I can now see is really more of a shard. So you could potentially land on it if you went through that teleport, but you'd probably end up plummeting to your doom. Maybe we could just try this, since these elevators do clearly go to different places. This could be worth a shot. It's so weird. I'm pretty sure I just heard the sound of a car skidding. This place is just full of phantom sounds. Yeah. No, this elevator, it only goes one way. We are not done with this thing yet. This is a really weird and random thought, but every once in a while when I have a moment to myself and I just got a big bare wall that I can project my flashlight against, it always reminds me of the ending of Gattaca. Okay, yes, here is how we get to those platforms, and by extension, to that big bright sign. But we're not ready for that just yet. We could make a jump for that teleport. And that may be our final goal. I feel like one way or another, that's going to be the last thing we attempt. That movement just scared the bejeebers out of me. But we've already seen that truck. We are at the top of the building on fire, contaminated area. Alright, let's keep an eye on our health and move through quickly. Okay. It seems like one of those things that has the longer-term effects that we think we can handle in the moment. There's some sort of panel up there. Can we climb this? We actually can. That's a radio. Oh, we have parkour incentives. We can't climb up here, though. Looks like something busted out. Do I even want to know? Or is this one of those things that's best left a mystery? Implications of immense strength and a will to escape. But what is it and where is it? By the way, I hold my breath in there too. I just wasn't making the funny breath-holding noises. Anyways, where do these stairs take us? It's weird how there's only been a few places in this entire world where we can clearly discern a purpose. However, I have an idea of what the purpose of this might be. Maybe that can actually blow us upward to another platform? I do wonder if this map doesn't maybe take some inspiration from games like Babdi. In fact, it's so obvious, it's a comparison I can't believe I've not drawn yet. It's weird how something so weird, like just that small little free game on Steam, could be so influential. Yep. But hey, maybe being free helps increase its reach. Let's try and do a tightrope walk here. Right over the chemical pit, so it would behoove us, I think, to not fall in. Otherwise, we'll end up turning into the Joker. Huh. Sick cricket beats coming out of this one. We can even move it. We could take it with us. Hang on, wait. Ow. Hey, can we cause this door to open with the right frequency? It was worth a shot, wasn't it? I have to say, I'm incredibly curious about it, though. If we don't find a solution, we'll get it in the no-clip run. Wow, this is steep. It almost doesn't feel like I should be able to climb it. But it seems like we have another level to the elevator. No, just above the elevator and a whole wall of darkness. Question is, does it lead anywhere? Nope, just straight to here. Well, I guess all that's left is to try for that teleport. Yeah. I think I can make it, and I really hope I'm right. We can observe that strange reflective shard from above. I would really love to know where that thing came from. Make sure we have a running start. Yeah! Oh god, we've had a teleport accident. I've ended up inside a box, and we found the lair of the Watchers again. Why would you ever do that when there's such an easier way? I've actually just realized there's a second elevator right beside it, and it goes further up. My unwillingness to use the elevators, because I always feel like elevators are skipping things, and that taking the stairs is how we'll see everything, but that's not the case on this map. Did that opposite elevator door just open as we started going up? That seems massively unsafe. Seeing the city fall away beneath us. Look at that old pillar, what might have been a highway overpass or some other mega building, just standing in the night. Here's where we hear birds. They've got their own little park up here. And a little cabin with the porch light on. Such a quaint image from a long ago time. Something that certainly doesn't belong here. We look above and it's like we're at the bottom of a canyon. But we know better. It's really more like being halfway up a skyscraper. I hate to break the whimsy, but we do need to carry a gun in here. And this is why. Whoever's here is packing heat. A broken texture watermelon! They're concocting all kinds of strange recipes up at this cabin. But the light's on, all furnished. And here, it's like that apartment. You could pretend that nothing's any different. Somebody who remembers before. Well, unless you look out the window. Well, at least you're keeping your ammo locked up. Didn't think it would have that reaction. I was just trying to break the lock. And in retrospect, I'm not quite sure why. Hello? You may be somebody who appreciates the simple things in life, but maybe sometimes you like to at least take in the wonder of what insanity you're a part of. What is this? You even brought in rock formations. And another of the Watcher's watching posts. I get the feeling this is kind of the chill post. The one that you always wish to get assigned to. I want to learn what's up there. I wonder, could we even maybe jump into that pipe? I don't think so, because as I get closer, I can see the smoke coming forward. Something I often think about, especially when I walk around New York City, is just how much infrastructure is working in the background. All the sewage and pipes and transportation, so much of it underground, so much in the walls. It's crazy to think how complex something like that actually is. And little outlets like this remind you of it. Sometimes you gotta let off the gas. Sometimes you have to let things end. Sometimes all you need is a new beginning. Don't be so hard on yourself, and do it. Start anew. Burnout is a negative emotion. Well, I guess those are probably your thoughts after completing all of this, but you know what? Starting anew is just fine because this is just fine as it is, and you should be really proud of this. This is really cool. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That was complexura. And complex it was, and dreamlike, and it has this amazing central feature that gives you so much to do, a visual indicator of your progress as you rise up through this place. Even no matter how many times you teleport, the goal of reaching every level really motivates you to explore. And this is before you get into the gameplay potential of this map. There's a lot of zaniness, a lot of craziness, and you definitely feel the freehand nature of it. How every area is just whatever the creator felt like doing in that moment. And that is, I think, a great way to develop maps. I think a lot of them work that way to some extent because it's always easier to tweak something that already exists than it is to come up with something from scratch. And so I can just imagine having the idea of this central chamber and then just working from there. Can we go into these doors here? No. I think the one thing we haven't seen is what happens when we try to make use of that fan. You know, it's only now I'm really noting that there is nothing connecting these stairs. Let's see if this does what I think it does. Oof. We do have some ability to control it. Whoa. And there we are. We could potentially get there this way. But there is a limit to what this offers us. Ooh. And back up we go. We can't actually really move all that much. Best bet, I think it's to come near the edge, allow ourselves to be rocketed upward, and out. Nope. It's just a fun little thing, and what a view it gives us. But I think we're just about done here for now, and this is as good a time as any to start our no-clip run. And no-clip right at the last second. Whoa! I just saw the Batman, and I really want to do the wingsuit thing in VR. Well, there's our nether section. And back here, yeah, it really is just living in the walls, the space behind the support beam. There's our school, our little forgotten model. Shame. And I still don't know what the deal is with this. Like, if there could have been some exit. Oh, but that reminds me. What about that space with the prisoner? That locked door that something broke out of? There seems to be nothing beyond it but tension. Oh, look at all this. This is the kind of thing that is definitely just as impressive from a distance. All that detail in the architecture, and when you see it from a distance, you see just how densely packed all of this actually is. It is really making efficient use of the space. I was really surprised by a lot of the things on this map, and by certain cameos that were made. But I think that's all for now. It was definitely a very pleasant surprise. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Meanwhile, I'm gonna try and finish this hot dog.